Hello everyone, welcome to my review of Jessica Jones Season 3, the final season as the poster says. But it's not just the final season for Jessica Jones, it's the final season for Netflix, boys. R.I.P. Netflix, moment of silence. But yeah, here we are, Jessica Jones Season 3. Now, the last season of Jessica Jones wasn't really all that great, wasn't it? I enjoyed it, but it was too long, it was too boring. It wasn't on the level of Iron Fist Season 1, don't worry about it, but it wasn't, like, up there. Especially after the peak called Season 1. You know, Season 1 was so good that they just dropped the ball so hard on Season 2. So let's see if they can pull it back, and yes, they can, boys, because in this season, Jessica Jones going up against the serial killer, who is great, by the way. I very much enjoyed him on screen, his presence. The way that he is always 10 steps ahead, I love that about him as well. In a way, you know, because the thing is that this is not your typical superhero story. Neither seasons were. But they gotta go through the law. Jessica Jones has to use the law, and also her friends, in order to take this guy down. However, he is so clean and so good at his job that he just doesn't leave evidence. So how are we gonna take him down? I mean, killing, but that's not an option. We have to figure out a way to take him down. And the way that the season goes through it, I very much liked it. Also, the hiccups that we get in this season, because we gotta get the 13 episodes, even though, you know, would have been nicer if it was maybe a little bit shorter, but still, the hiccups in this season were explained as well as to why it's extended, and they have logic behind it, except one. Like, there's 3 moments where it's like, we got the bad guy, and then we don't, because of reasoning that I have. But the second one, I did not really like. I'll talk more about that, obviously, in the spoiler talk. But the other 2, I thought were really well done, and it makes sense for the character of Jessica Jones, and also it makes sense for, you know, the season. And also, if they're like, we have evidence to take down the bad guy in episode 6, you know that that's not gonna work, right? Like, you know that there's no way that works. We have more episodes to go, okay? We're not even halfway through the season yet. Come on, dude. It'll be free either by the end of this episode, or it'll be free by next episode, because we gotta make the 13 episodes. So then, let's get into the cast, because I don't want to talk anymore. I have a whole spoiler talk for that one, probably over an hour. Haven't fully edited that one yet. Anyway, starting off, we have Krysten Ritter back as Jessica Jones, and she will be back once again in Born Again. Super excited. Anyway, she is great in the role. She really just doesn't care at all, okay? Like, I love that about her. However, she now has to deal with the fact that Trish killed her mom in the last season. By the way, if you were not expecting spoilers for the last season in this video, I don't know what to tell you, dude. That was last season. Obviously, I'm gonna spoil it. I'm allowed to spoil everything. I'm allowed to spoil that Trish pulled the trigger on her mom, shot her, killed her right in front of her. However, Jessica now has to deal with that, and it has damaged the connection between Jessica and Trish, sadly enough. And the way that Krysten Ritter deals with that and acts it out is just really well done. Next up, we have Rachel Taylor back as Trish Walker, also known in this season, as we saw at the end of the last season, as Hellcat. Yes, she has fully taken on the persona, kind of. Not the name necessarily, but she is a superhero now. Or wants to be, let's just say that. I mean, she's wanted to be that one since, like, season 1, since the moment that we met her. And at the end of the last season, because of what happened, you know, the whole power getting, now she can be, and she is. But the way that they handled that storyline, I'm also actually a fan of. Like, it goes in a direction that you're not really expecting, unless you've already seen the season, obviously. But I like the way that they go in that direction, and they make it a logical choice as to why she goes in the direction and what kind of person she becomes because of everything that has happened to her, you know? It makes sense. Then after that, we have Eka Darville back as Malcolm Ducasse, and he has a storyline in this season as well that is really good as well. For him, it's more like working for Hogarth, you know? That woman is pure evil, absolutely pure evil. But Malcolm is supposed to be a good guy, so he now has to work for pure evil. And if you know anything about Hogarth, you know that that's gonna give some problems, you know? Hogarth is the one who would defend a rapist, you know? She would defend a serial killer if it would get her good publicity, you know? Like that kind of stuff, alright? A superstar that keeps crashing into people because he keeps being drunk. Let's defend that instead of send him to prison where he belongs, you know? That kind of stuff. That is the stuff that Malcolm has to deal with this season, and I am a big fan of the way that Malcolm handles it, and also what he does throughout the season. And then finally, for the old cast members, we also have Carrie-Anne Moss back as Jerry Hogarth. Because outside of that, we don't really have an old cast. We have only new characters. And once again, Carrie-Anne does a fantastic job, and I still hate Hogarth. And then moving on from there, I'll just stitch this along to it as well. We also have Sarita Cowdery, sure, as Kith Leone, a former love interest of Hogarth. I mean, she was fine. Like, it wasn't really standout-ish. For me, like, the scenes that she's in, she acts them fine, but it's not really a character that I'm gonna remember, you know? But I'll just add that onto that one as well. So let's get into the new characters then, shall we? Starting off with our main bad guy himself, we have Jeremy Bob as Gregory Salinger, our serial killer of the season. And man, does this guy know how to act creepy and like a victim. He is really good. Like, he has that voice in order to be creepy, but he also has the voice in order to be like, oh my god, Jessica Jones attacked me, somebody help. That kind of stuff. I love the way when he gets serious, the way that he just goes around and round with Jessica Jones because of the fact that she just can't catch him because of how smart he is. Big fan of that. Then after that, we have Tiffany Mack as Zaya Okonjo, the love interest for Malcolm for this season. And let's see how long that lasts. I probably should have attached this one to Malcolm as well because of the fact that outside of being a love interest, I don't necessarily have anything to talk about outside of really getting into spoilers, so we're not doing that one. So then let's end it with Benjamin Walker as Eric Gelden. This is a guy who becomes a love interest for Jessica Jones, however. And yes, also that means that it does not sadly enough work out with the last guy. Anyway, he is great in this season, and he has powers too. He has the powers of darkness, kind of. He senses other people's darkness, and he gets headaches when he's close to people who have darkness inside of them. And the way that they handled that in the season and use that throughout the plot, big fan of that. And that is the cast. Overall, like I said, this season was great. Yes, you know, you could have maybe sliced off a couple of things here and there, you know, like I said, that second thing, you could have sliced that out, but still, overall, I very much love this season. Is it up there in the top 5? Yeah, it is, because this is better than Punisher season 2. It is in the top 5. At number 5, we have Jessica Jones season 3. At number 4, we have the Punisher season 1. At number 3, we have Jessica Jones season 1. At number 2, we have Daredevil season 1. And at number 1, we have Daredevil season 3. That is my ranking as my top 5 for the MCU Netflix era seasons. And yeah, it is sad that this is it, actually. I mean, not for the character, obviously. We'll see her back in season 2 of Born Again. Very excited about that one. I hope that they really knock it out of the park, because I'll forgive season 1 of Born Again because it was just awful what they made, and then they tried to fix it, which kind of became a Frankenstein thing. But now with season 2, we have actual people who actually gave us the good stuff from Born Again, so I'm excited to see where they are headed with Born Again season 2. However, this is the end of Netflix, and it is actually a sad one because I don't think we'll ever have another rapist or a pedophile be represented in the MCU, sadly enough. Yes, indeed, because that is what was represented here, and to be honest, they don't necessarily require representation, but since the world loves representation, why not for them? Outside of, you know, the list of reasons why. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It was a special something that they made on Netflix, and it's sad to see it go, you know? But overall, like I said, love this season. So let's go and end this with a positive, shall we? So my final verdict for Jessica Jones season 3 is gonna be a 9 out of 10, boys. Very much enjoyed it. Very great. Just watch it, okay? Jessica Jones is worth it. Yes, she gets dragged down by the second season. Also, top 3 shows of the MCU Netflix era are at number 3, Jessica Jones, number 2, Punisher, number 1, Daredevil. Easily the top 3 for the MCU. But that is specifically because of season 2. If season 2 had been better, she would have beaten out Punisher. But sadly enough, she does not. But overall, still a great season and a great series, you know? I know people are like, oh, you hate women because you don't like women in the MCU nowadays. Like, yeah, but I loved them back in the day. I loved the women of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I loved Jessica Jones as a character. I loved the storylines that they went on. And it's just like now they are just ruining everything. But this is really good adult female representation. Let's just say that, okay? Because I don't really think that I would let my like 12-year-old daughter watch this, to be honest. I mean, it's a bit dark, wouldn't you say? Maybe when she's 16, you know? I mean, maybe when she's 13, you know? There's a chance once she's 12, I'll show it to her. But like, it depends on what kind kind of a person she is. But like, I will watch this with her. She's not watching Jessica Jones alone. This is something that we'll watch together, okay? But I love the way that they break Jessica down and that she has to build herself back up. Very big fan. So let me know what you guys thought about season 3, the final season of Jessica Jones, in the comment section down below. And with that being said, thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you did, please like button, subscribe if you're new, or haven't done so already, turn on notifications. Don't forget to check out the Let's Play channel, link in the description and at the end of the video. And I'll see you guys next time when we go doubly small. And yes, doubly is a real word. Look it up, because next time we are gonna be going for Ant-Man and the Wasp in the MCU. Bye!